Hello everyone! Today we have r/AmITheDevil, and today's stories are super dramatic. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel because I really want to get to 120 subscribers as soon as possible. Am I the butthole for secretly eating takeout food my pregnant wife cannot eat because she has gestational diabetes? My wife and I have been married for 10 years and been together for 15. She is 7 months pregnant and has gestational diabetes, which has been very hard on her, and by extension, very hard on me too, and our relationship. Her doctor has strictly recommended she follows a strict diet, and that means no sugar or high-calorie foods such as Alfredo sauce or pizza and the likes. Naturally, she has been very upset because she has cravings, but there is no way she can indulge. She has gotten sick of the alternatives suggested to her and would start sobbing sometimes when we go outside because she will see all these food places only to realize she cannot eat what she wants. I feel for her, I really do. Our relationship started to break down a little when she started taking her anger out at me. My offense? Ordering the things I like to eat, such as cookies, cheese, frozen snacks. We get groceries delivered to us, by the way. Just like any other person does. She was extremely mad at me for being able to enjoy eating these things and made me feel guilty for eating stuff she craves. My breaking point was once she angrily cried over the fact I brought home a box of donuts I received from office on my birthday. I was sick of her behavior and the constant policing of my food intake in our home that I, in no uncertain terms, made it very clear that she cannot punish me for a health problem she has and that this is my house too and I will eat and drink whatever and whenever I please. She had a bad argument that day and I uttered divorce. That seemed to shake us both and we did a few sessions of marital counseling. To keep it short, our therapist held her accountable and shared that it wasn't fair on me to be at the receiving end of her emotional distress. However, she also emphasized that my wife is probably feeling unsupported too, and I could try to be a bit more discreet and stick to making healthier meals together, which would be great for both of us. Since my wife cannot make up for excess blood sugar she has by working out a lot, because she is chubby and has bad knees, I can see why she feels helpless. As a solution, we decided to stock up the forbidden foods in the second fridge we have in the drawing room of our house that we use to store drinks and guest snacks for. It's better when reminders of the things she craves but cannot eat are not there in the common fridge. This also means I can almost never order takeout at home, and sometimes I miss doing that while watching Netflix. I still missed having the occasional pasta dish at the Cheesecake Factory or McDonald's, so sometimes when I drive home from work, I eat in my car, keeping the therapist's reminders in mind. Because I know that my wife knowing that I ate stuff she cannot will make her mad. Yesterday, though, I took my wife on a long drive and she found a receipt of the Cheesecake Factory on the floor. At the moment when she found it, she started sobbing and wouldn't talk to me. She is now pissed at me and feels like I have betrayed her. I think she is overreacting, and I don't think I'm wrong since 80% of the meals I have in a week are with her. I try to have takeouts without her on Fridays mostly. I do not think I'm a butthole because my wife and I have an agreement that I will be discreet when I want to indulge in food I want to eat, so that she doesn't get frustrated every time. Am I the butthole? And there is an edit. There is still resentment I have against her for ruining my birthday. Basically, the gift that I got from my wife that day was her yelling at me and me uttering divorce and ending the night in tears. I still hate her for it, for creating a bad memory I likely won't be able to erase, but I'm working on it. I feel the same way too when I read what I wrote. I do not want to hate her, but I do. I still cry thinking about how we fought for something seemingly innocent, and I feel so wronged that no one sees that this was unfair and borderline offensive for me. To be at the receiving end of this as a spouse because I happen to be a husband in this dynamic. I'm not sure about therapy for this, but I grew up poor and food insecurity was a big part of my childhood. It makes me feel pretty bad that I know that I have means to provide for myself. I still cannot do what I want, but no one sees my problem and why I want to be able to make my own decisions too. And even if I didn't have this problem, I shouldn't need a reason to act with autonomy as long as I am supportive of her and being considerate about her food issues, which I positively have acknowledged in therapy with her. And I am doing my part, even though I and our therapist agreed that her initial demands were ridiculous. I was made to feel like a horrible, horrible person for simply bringing a box of donuts my coworkers got me on my birthday, when there was no malice involved, no bad intentions, no desire to rub it in her face, or whatever rest of the world calls it. I regretted being a married man that day and wished I never met her. I have never let anyone bring my self-esteem down in the way my wife did. I have never given anyone else the power to hurt me like she did. And I want to take it away. No one has ever made me feel like a criminal for eating a donut and storing the rest in the fridge inside the house I own too. Oh, boo-hoo. You don't understand that there are health risks involved, and now you have whole other human involved. You just want your donuts. Ugh, grow up. My daughter tore apart my fiancé's wedding dress, ending our engagement. I've grounded her until she's 18 years old, imposed strict limitations on her activities, and making her work to contribute to expenses. This is more of an off-my-chest post. I am not looking for advice, but welcome some, given with empathy and understanding in mind. I have a 16-year-old daughter, Ella. 6 months ago, because of her, my partner Chloe ended our engagement. To give some context, before my partner was in my life, I was married to my late wife. For around 1.5 years, she was in a vegetative state, and I had already grieved her passing before she even passed on. Accepting her passing was something I had already prepared ahead of time, and I dipped my feet in the dating market 6 months after. I met my lovely partner, Chloe, who also had a daughter from her first marriage, and after dating for a year, I proposed to her. I was ecstatic to be with the love of my new life. Ella, not so much. Chloe tried to bond with Ella and did everything possible to make her feel like a welcome presence in her life. Ella wasn't thrilled and had routinely messed with Chloe, such as guarding her mother's territory, having an attitude when I got Chloe gifts, hid her stuff, and generally becoming over-rebellious. It used to cause fights between Chloe and I, who felt that I should be able to discipline her appropriately so that it doesn't impact our relationship. Ella completely lost her mind when she heard I was marrying Chloe. Eventually, a few weeks after that, she accepted it, and Chloe even made her a bridesmaid. Chloe had assigned Ella the duty to her adjusted dress picked up from the tailors, as she had lost some weight from the time initial measurements were taken. And because of this, Ella had access to Chloe's wedding prep stuff, and 3 days before the wedding, she went to pick up the Chloe's dress. To Chloe's horror, Ella had completely ruined the dress on purpose and admitted as such. There were fabric patches missing, stains from coffee, and almost looked like a dog chewed on the dress. Chloe broke down and called off the wedding. She didn't speak to me for a whole week and went out of town, and I frantically tried contacting her, wishing we would work things out. When Chloe met me for the final time, she told me that she wants to end our relationship because she has unknowingly ignored a lot of red flags from the kind of behavior I let go from my daughter. Chloe said she cannot put up with this level of disrespect in her life. I begged and pleaded and even promised I will send her to boarding school, but she did not listen to me. I was furious at my daughter for meddling in my relationship and completely tearing it apart like she did with my lovely fiancé's dress. I grounded her until she turns 18 years old. At the time, she was turning 16. She's now to come home straight from school, not allowed to have any relationships. She had no problem ruining my relationship, and she doesn't deserve one until she's old enough to consent. No trips, no social media, nothing. Ella's then boyfriend also dumped her once he learned what she did. He was also a part of the wedding guest list. I even put restrictions on internet usage, and she only is allowed one electronic, that is her desktop computer, for school. I took her smartphone away and gave her a basic SIM phone instead. She is also to work at a diner right across from the street and pitch into household bills and groceries as a part of her sentence. As she proves herself worthy, I promised to cover a part of her college tuition. To address one more thing about grief counseling, yes, my daughter was completing a program through her school's health and counseling services. However, she left that midway, and when I tried to convince her to go through it again, she rebelled, saying that they are simply getting her to accept the unacceptable in her life, which referred to Chloe. I even managed to convince her to try 3 more psychiatrists, but she didn't want to engage with any after that. I couldn't force her to do therapy if it made her uncomfortable, so I didn't enforce it. I regret doing that, really. Had I been stern enough, I would have introduced consequences if she did not put effort into working on herself in therapy. My daughter cries to me every day to reduce her sentence and let her leave and lead a normal life, but I refuse. She took the one good thing in my life away from me, and I feel horrible still, and I cannot stop missing Chloe. I wish she'd just come back. I feel so angry at my daughter still, and I cannot stop resenting her. I cannot find it to me to forgive her. I didn't seem to imply that my daughter's isn't a part of the good things in my life. Clearly, I misconveyed in my post. Here is what I said to her. Ella, I was in a very dark place from witnessing your mother's passing. It was extremely tough for me to lose my partner, and then I had a good thing going on in my life. It felt wonderful. I had hope. And in your selfishness, pettiness, and stubbornness, you took that one good thing away from me, and I cannot forgive you for that. This is, hands down, one of the worst stories I have read on this channel. I see red, honestly. Imagine being such a bad father that you promising your partner to send away your daughter just to be with that sad partner. I really hope that your daughter will find what it takes to forgive you, or at least not to get vindictive on you. My fraternal twin brother has been no contact with me for 9 years. I am ready to make amends. How do I do that? My brother and I had a tumultuous relationship, to say the least. When I was younger, I distanced myself from my brother. He argued I was bad to him, but it never got to that extent. This started around middle school, as we had a disparity in popularity. I wasn't popular, to say the least. I was in the middle, but my brother was a complete outcast. He felt that I was wrong to him to impress the popular kids. Even though we are twins, my brother was complete opposite. He just had weird hobbies. Meanwhile, I played sports. He complained to my parents and older sister about what I was doing, but they agreed with me. They did tell me to tone it down, and in my immaturity, I refused. This takes me to the last time he ever spoke with me. Senior year of high school, we had our prom. I didn't have my own date and was going with my group of friends. He was dating this weird girl who was a grade below us. I figured if I steal his prom date, it would make me get in with the popular kids. I was immature back then. That night went exactly how I planned, and essentially I had an adult time with my brother's girlfriend. After that, he stopped talking to me completely. It did not impress the kids in the school either. I mostly got, "Hey, that's crazy you had adult time with your brother's girl." People found the drama funny, but it didn't make me popular. My parents were upset at my brother for letting a woman between us. Well, after graduation, he joins the army and doesn't tell anyone. He blocked the entire family. It's been years since we talked. And all I know is he's a warrant officer now. I don't know what exactly that is, but I have a friend who follows his account. He's married and his wife is a pharmacist, so he's doing well for himself. None of us family was invited to the wedding. I think it's time to put the past behind us and rebuild our relationship. Well, I think it's time for your brother to double down on the boundaries and never to talk to you. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can also watch that awesome video or this awesome playlist. See you next time!